Studley the horse talks. This is just something more from a letter sent to me. From my dear friend Sue, also known as WWW, short for West Wind Woman. Being a stellar farmer and lover of animals, she also wins any butter tart competition, hands down. Her Century Farm home shows the pride of her family. Many prize ribbons fill the rustic barn beams. This beautiful place is also home to many in the spirit world. Sue is reminiscing of a visit we just had. She writes, "Another thing that Susan told me had to do with a horse at our place. She said this horse loved our daughter Emily and that he has something on his head. She said he wants to tell us that this thing is hurting him. She pointed to a spot on her head and described what this thing looked like. I didn't know what she meant by the description of this thing on the horse's head. We didn't have anything like that. That night, when I got home, my husband was in the barn doing chores. I was so excited to tell him everything, so I went to the barn and helped with chores. Then we could talk. I opened up our horse Studley's stall door to feed him. Studley was standing there with a brand new cribbing collar on. I didn't know that my husband had bought this new type of collar that went over the top of his head with ear holes and a strap around his neck. It was exactly what Susan had described. I looked at him in disbelief at the apparatus, and I called Mike over. I told him what Susan had said about this horse, also that and that it loved Emily so much. He wanted us to know he had a sore head on the right side. Mike said that he bought this new type of collar the week before. Studley has a cribbing habit that can cause him other health problems if we don't try to prevent him from cribbing. I proceeded to take off the new cribbing collar to find a sore in the exact spot that Susan had said. Poor Studley. The new leather was not soft enough and had rubbed a spot raw about the size of a loonie, a Canadian $1 coin. We now talk out loud to our horses and tell them how much we love them. That incident certainly made my husband a believer in abilities. He also said that I should have gone to Susan years before, as he could see that I was so much happier and at peace about my father's death after our visits. A little while after this, we had a yearling filly that had slipped and fell backwards on her neck and was hurt so bad that she couldn't walk and seemed to be partially paralyzed. I of course called the vet and then called Susan to ask for some remote healing to be sent to the horse until we got help. The horse was panicking and we couldn't get near her. Susan took a moment over the phone and actually described the horse's coat to me, which was a paint horse, and said that the horse was very frightened. She said, "I am with her now," explaining it to her. Susan told me to go to the barn now and just comfort her. When I arrived back at the barn, the horse put her head against my chest and immediately was quiet and calm. It was amazing. The on-call vet that came was useless and didn't seem to know what to do. Our regular vet came the next day and was not optimistic and warned us what could happen and just made her comfortable with muscle relaxers. Then I called Susan again. She came and did a therapeutic touch session on the horse. It was then that she started improving. Susan knew exactly the spot that was injured and you could see the horse relax. In fact, she almost fell asleep while Sue worked on her. This was not typical behavior for this high-spirited horse. The horse made a full recovery. Many use this form of energy treatment for horses. Pranic, distant therapeutic touch, Reiki, whatever label you use. Such high-spirited animals communicate easily in the highest vibrations of love. Thank you, Sue, WWW, for your great butter tarts, your writings, and memories of our times. Thanks for your interest. To be continued. Like and subscribe. More to come.